Chat. Sorry, things are a little bit scuffed, but the show must still go on, and I heard we got some dev updates and a hero balance update. With several weeks in the books, we've been so humbled and honored by the over 25 million players that have answered the call to Overwatch 2. With the live service now more stable, we'd like to take some time to focus on what we have planned for hero balance in the upcoming game update. Prior to the changes that we have planned for Season 2, something we'll have more to say on later. Well, we talked about our plans for Season 2 in a previous dev blog. There are some hero balance adjustments we'd like to make sooner. As promised, we're focused on some tactical adjustments meant to bring current standouts like D.Va, Zarya, Genji, and SOMBRA more in line with the rest of the roster. So first up, we've got SOMBRA. Hack ability lockout reduced from 1.75 to 1.5. Okay, that's good. Hacked enemies no longer valid targets for hacking after the duration of the effects. Wait, isn't that just the leaked one? Don't tell me. Dude, if the leaked patch notes are actually real... Oh, no. Okay, I'm just gonna move on. Hack damage multiplier reduced from 40 to 25%. That's pretty good. Dev comments, with Sombra's hack, she gained a lot more damage to help account for the reduced lockout duration of hack. This has proven to be too deadly for a flanker with easy access to the enemy backlines. Wait, what? That's not the reason. I mean, I guess if you're playing Zen, but that's not totally the reason. We similarly had to address the damage output for heroes like Tracer, Reaper, and now Genji. Pausing my alerts. Genji in the 5v5 format. She can no longer channel hack on an already hacked target as feedback, indicated the reduced cooldown combined with hacking from stealth proved too frustrating for many players. Yeah, no shit, because an invisible character that can literally just hack while invisible and sit there is awful. It's essentially a per target cooldown that enables hack to keep its 4-second cooldown for potentially hacking multiple targets. This was because people would just walk up to tanks and just go beep boop beep boop, beep boop beep boop, beep boop beep boop, and just keep hacking the tank over and over, and it was awful. But I actually don't know. I think this is enough to make Sombra not like OP, but this doesn't make her not enjoyable to play against. Genji, maximum ammo reduced from 30 to 24 and damage reduced from 29 to 22. There's no way you guys actually did this. What? Dude, come the f on, dude. Remember that 2 weeks where Genji was good back in Overwatch 1? It's because you buffed his neutral game. This is literally puts Genji back in the box of a Blade bot. Like, what the f, guys? What are we doing? Like, you murdered the character. He was strong, but he wasn't like brokenly strong. Sojourn is more brokenly strong than Genji, and actually the part of Genji that's annoying to deal with isn't his neutral game, it's the Nano Blade. If you want to nerf Genji, nerf Nano Blade, not his neutral game. God, dude, oh, this is disappointing. Genji's a hero that has greatly benefited from the move to 5v5. Changing a single tank and the reduction of crowd control has meant Genji has less obstacles in his way. However, he hasn't received tuning updates since he wasn't active in the meta until launch, something we were informed by our general preference to avoid preemptive adjustments when possible. We also saw that in beta access, other flanking characters such as Tracer and Reaper are also significantly more effective in Overwatch 2. These characters will bring Genji more in line with the other flanking damage heroes. God. Poor Genji players. Zarya. Barrier duration reduced from 2.5 to 2 seconds, and barrier cooldown increased from 10 to 11 seconds. Good changes. Dev comments, early player sentiment around Zarya is... Wait, early player sentiment predicted Zarya as one of the weakest solo tanks in 5v5. Though her high damage potential and barrier uptime has proven to be extremely effective for opponents, feedback has indicated that it can feel that Zarya has unlimited windows of vulnerability. Sorry, it has very limited. I'm thinking Zarya is invulnerable because basically she is limited windows of vulnerability, which feels difficult to deal with, combined with her ramping up damage potential. These changes will reduce the barrier uptime and make it slightly more difficult for her to gain energy, and will provide enemies with more time to deal damage to her. I think Zarya probably is gonna actually fall off hard, but still needed changes. D.Va, fusion cannon spread reduced from 3.5 to 3.75. Boosters impact damage reduced from 25 to 15. I actually think D.Va is still going to be very good. Like, her shotgun spread is only, like, scary at range. Like, up close, it's not really that big a deal. But this is a pretty significant nerf. Remember, this was buffed, I think, from 25 to 25 from 10 in Overwatch 1. But this makes it so D.Va can't just El Yito Delito people by flying through them. Actually, a good way to get ult charge on D.Va on like Gibraltar first was like you would literally just fly into all 5 of the enemies and then drop back down because your booster cooldown was only like 4 seconds. So every 4 seconds you flew through 5 enemies and damaged them all for 25 points. You would get bombed like very quick. D.Va ended up feeling too deadly after the last round of changes, given how resilient she can be with her improved defense matrix. Both our stats and high-level players' feedback regarded her as not effective enough that before compared with other... Wait, what? Feedback regarded her as not effective enough before that compared with other tanks. So this partial revert is to establish some middle ground there. Okay. Here you go. Swift Step invulnerability duration reduced from 0.4 to 0.25 seconds. This invulnerability window is primarily intended to help to avoid instantly dying to something unseen after teleporting through walls, but it ended up being a little too long and led to some confusion when shooting at Kiriko. Okay, so basically what you could do is like kind of like Sombra TP is like when a bomb was going off, you could teleport and you would have invulnerability frames. So like, let's say a bomb was going to go off next to you, you could just TP to your teammate if you didn't have Suzu, and like they might die, but you'll live. And they're making that window even smaller, and that's... I don't think Kiriko needed a nerf to that, but okay. Our current goal is to deploy these changes in the upcoming update on November 15th, which is... God, that's fucking like 2 weeks... That's like 2.5 weeks away. What? Should that plan change... Wait, isn't it... What? Should that plan change, we are sure to update you here. Those wanting a preview of how these stats will play, check out Overwatch League Playoffs on October 30th. Huh? So we're not getting Sojourn nerfs, Genji gets butchered, and we're waiting till November 15th? Yeah, like, yeah, Chop, you make a good point. Isn't mid-season not like week 7 of 9? That's not mid-season, that's end of season. Like, we're at mid-season right now, no? Like, next week is mid-season. Huh? Like in all honesty, why even announce this so early? You know? They addressed most of your issues on Twitter? With the Twitter sphere? I didn't see. Is there like a VOD of that? I don't even know how those work. Can you like watch those back later? You put the Q&A in mod chat. Okay, so I trust you on this. Leader hero designer of Overwatch doing anime on Twitter. Doom buffs being discussed, trying to make spicy punch happen more frequently. Okay. Queen buffs discussed, increasing self-efficiency without sustaining the whole team. That's pretty decent. Ball is being considered, but on the knife's edge for balance. Sojourn is overperforming at Masters Plus, but actually underperforming in lower elo, so they're being careful to not make her suck for average players. How is Widowmaker in the metal ranks? Like, that's my immediate answer is, how is Widowmaker in the lower ranks? Is Widowmaker fucking dog shit? Yes. Oh. Isn't that because she's a character that requires you to hit headshots to be good? Sojourn's the same thing, where her power comes from her one shot. So we're balancing her on low elo. Now, I'm fine with balancing for low elo to be able to play the game. Like, there has to be like break points, right? There has to be break points. Like, you can't buff it so like they'll never get any kills and everyone just sits there and nobody dies like it's goats. Because that's boring. But at the same time though, you're not going to nerf this character that has one shots because it's harder for people who can't aim to hit? Bro, are you serious? Her changes will be in the Season 2 patch, focusing on her one-shot capability, but keeping her identity. Okay, that's good, but that should be sooner, not later. And also, okay. Sims Beam will gain ammo from shields again soon. Okay, that should be honestly a patch. That should be in the mid-season patch. Mercy's being watched, giving players time to adjust to her new movement, may receive minor tweaks. Good, because Mercy sucks, and the only thing good about Mercy is her unbelievable movement that she now has. So, like, I don't know. I feel weird about Mercy. They reiterate their top-down philosophy where higher elo is prioritized. Really? That's interesting. That was not how it was in the past. So they say reiterate it. That's, you know... Oh, zoom in a little bit? Okay, sorry. Is that better? Okay, cool. Tracer isn't being touched for now because they expect other DPS nerfs will make her used, but she's re-examined if that doesn't happen. They're avoiding buffing support damage to prevent them from turning into DPS heroes with healing. Prefer to buff their movement / survivability. Agreed. That's actually a good take. That is actually a good take. The patch was meant to come out earlier, but there were some issues on our side. Future patch cycle will be more, or will be major patch at the start of the season and minor patch 4 weeks in. So what they're saying is this patch is late, and it won't be like that in the future. It will actually be mid-season changes. So, but if there was problems on their side, are the problems resolved? Because if they're resolved, then just release them ASAP. Why wait 2 more weeks? Probably delayed because of Halloween event? Possibly. Yeah, you might be onto something there. You could be onto something. High elo, top down, prioritized. That's why they nerfed Genji and left Sojourn. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the whole reiterate their top-down philosophy is like to reiterate it. You had to have that way in the first place. I don't know. I think that this Genji nerf is dog shit. I think that Zarya's good. I think D.Va's okay. I think the Sombra one's pretty good. The Genji one just makes no freaking sense. Honestly, it's just the Genji one. The Genji one makes no sense. The Symmetra should get some help immediately. Like, there shouldn't even be a wait on Symmetra. She's just awful. And Queen, Doom, and Ball, I'm okay with, like, chilling for a little bit. Because Doom, if you really buff him, like, really hard, and then you'll break him. Dude, okay, like, let's be honest with ourselves. Nothing is worse to play against than a, like, super-powered Doomfist. Whenever Doomfist has been broken, the game sucks. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. People don't like playing against Doom. Doom being good, but also not being, like, OP is a good spot for him. He's a tough hero. Queen, I'm sad, is terrible, but at the same time, like, they need to find a middle ground where, like, she's strong as herself, right? She's strong as herself, but doesn't, like, make everyone else strong. That's a good spot for her, like maybe increasing her damage or her self-sustain, I guess. Ball is a tough one. Ball... I don't know how to make Ball better. I'm gonna be real. Like, without, like, destroying him. Because, like, if you buffed, like, his damage, he'd be so fucking strong. But if you buff his survivability, he's already survives for years. So what do you buff on Ball? That's a great question. That's honestly a phenomenal question. So... I don't know. Overall, I'm a little disappointed in these patch notes. I'm a little bit disappointed in the timing on them. But it's not awful. It's not awful.